Let me allow Mr. Chief Umeh to respond to what your intervention.
Well, like I said, you can see clearly he doesn't want to address the issue. His effort to become chairman of APGA arose from the judgment of the Enugu State High Court that voided the convention that got us elected. Whether he's saying there was election, there was no election, that's not the issue here.
But was there an election?
There was an election, of course. And who
monitored the election?
INEC produced a report therefrom and said it was in accordance with our constitution.
With how many delegates for that particular Congress?
Well, I can't have the number offered.
Can you tell us
about 1,000 something. At Women Development Center, it's not in dispute whether there was an election or not. Every political party has a constitution and can decide on how to run itself. The action taken to renew our tenure for another 4 years was as a result of a decision taken by the National Executive Committee. Our constitution has a provisional empowerment for NEC to take a decision for ratification by the convention. And when the NEC took that decision, it took it to the convention where all the delegates came and upheld it. It's an internal affair of the party. The argument he's making now cannot stand any shred of argument because, one, I asked him, how did your journey start? You were trying to execute a judgment. And the Court of Appeals said, no, don't execute this judgment, wait. And he continued. The Court of Appeal ended up nullifying the judgment because when he came here February last year, he said that APGA had been decapitated by the Enugu State High Court judge voiding the convention. Therefore, APGA has no leadership again. Now, on 15th July, on 8th of July, the 8th of April, rather, the Court of Appeal said, no, wait, let me hear this appeal. Leave the cap, the head, where it is. Then on 15th of July, the Court of Appeal nullified the judgment that decapitated the leadership of APGA. By that nullification of that judgment, the head was fully put back. How did he acquire his own head?
No, he's actually faulting this is
the judgment. If you like, you read it. You have a copy here. You cannot interpret.
Let me ask you.
Yes.
APGA, I mean, during the national conference, before the delegates list came out,
yes,
APGA was one of the parties that has a slot for the national delegate
two people, yes.
Yeah, who are the delegates of your party there now?
At present, nobody. Because of this confusion they are creating everywhere.
Is it someone creating the confusion?
Yes, is it someone creating the confusion? Oku is creating the confusion, yes. Because he's listen now, follow me. If you have a high court judgment and somebody has a superior judgment, that being that of the Court of Appeal, you cannot defer to the high court. From what I have explained to you, when the issue came up, he nominated people. I wrote an objection letter, also forwarded our own nominees, and gave them these judgments.
Are you afraid of losing this particular case, Chief Umeh?
How can the Court of Appeal deliver a judgment against itself? If the Court of Appeal said...
I'm asking if you are afraid of losing this case.
Why should I be afraid of what? This is not a matter of
life
and death.
You are talking about some people.
Yes.
Who are these people that you are talking about? Is there any...
Miles Loku and his co-travelers.
Who are the travelers you are talking about?
He has his group. Now look at him smiling. He has his group.
All right.
So from what I have told you so far, what he doesn't want to be situated properly for the listening public is to hear about his illegal journey in APGA. You cannot use a high court judgment to muzzle a Court of Appeal judgment that is subsisting. And this is the issue the Court of Appeal... Remember that when I came here in February with him, he said there was a judgment on record. Whether I like it or not, I must obey the Enugu State High Court judgment. And that was the judgment they were trying to obey. Whether you like the judgment, until it is set aside on appeal, that the judgment will continue to be binding and subsisting. I agreed.
Who is it?
I went to Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal set aside the judgment. He's no longer talking about the fact that the foundation to his claim has been completely eroded by the pronouncement of the Court of Appeal. And somebody who is a lawyer, he called me a layman. I'm a layman because I'm not a lawyer. But you should know that I read land law, law of contract, with all the lawyers we have in Nigeria, and arbitration and awards. So I can appreciate points of law when I see them.
Who is
and
who,
he himself,
hold on, just a moment.
answer he can answer, the question he will answer us now is, on the day he said he had his convention, which produced him, as a lawyer, there was an order of maintenance of status quo ante bellum by the Court of Appeal. Can he legally hold another convention to produce himself when that order is there?
Let me ask you, I mean, just before, who is APGA's chairman now?
Of course, I'm the chairman. I'm sustained by the Court of Appeal. I'm not afraid to say so.
All right.
Any place you go to, you will drop this Court of Appeal judgment, and you see that they are on a journey of illegality, hanging on loose ends all the time.
Just a moment. Let's go to Abuja. Mr. Oku, you've heard what Chief Umeh has said. And let me start by asking you, who is the chairman of APGA?
Of course. I'm national chairman of APGA.
This man is not a member of our party.
I say so because, you see, here is another hype going on. The court never said return to status quo ante bellum, which is just use of terms which we don't fully appreciated. The court said we cannot stay, that is the matter of stay, on the stay of execution. The court said we cannot stay the declaratory orders, but we can stay the one ordering Chief Umeh not to parade as national chairman of APGA. Now, by the time the order came, the convention had been held. These are issues of law. It's not a matter of propaganda. It's not a matter of trying to convince the public to carry them along. The matter, he has already exhausted himself in the Court of Appeal. And secondly, we have the Court of Appeal judgment. Let me remind him that let him go and read the 11 Rule 5 of the Court of Appeal rules. Once a matter is struck out, it becomes a supervisory judgment of the Court of Appeal. So we have the Court of Appeal judgment in favor on the Omudinjo case. So he claims he has a Court of Appeal judgment. So there is no superior judgment as such. He has now taken his chance on a different case. I don't know why he's fighting shy of the appeal he filed. He is the appellant. He is the judgment debtor in the case before Prt3, which I sued him and Shinkafi and others. He's taking his chance before the court on Tuesday. So there will be a decision one way or the other in the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to take my chance. Let me take his own chance.
All right. It's interesting. Just a moment. Let me come to you, Mr. Oku. It's interesting because a lot of people have respect for the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, at the time, at the region where it has its strength. And one man that the party is linked to, the late Ojukwu. And a lot of people are looking at what is happening in the party now and the opportunity of your party to be able to partake in the national conference. Now, there are no delegates of your party at the national conference. What can you tell us about that?
We got a letter from the office of the SGF inviting us to submit 2 nominees for the conference as APGA delegates. I submitted the name of the Deputy National Chairman South, Chief Chris Ejike Uche, and National Secretary, Dr. Sagir Awal Medoya. I understand that the other side, led by Chief Umeh, submitted his name and that of his secretary, Shinkafi. Now it happened that the Secretary of Government Federation felt he should step down APGA nomination and announced we should go and sort our leadership dispute. I'm aware the matter is being taken right now. It's unfortunate we lost some weeks, but I'm very confident that shortly APGA authentic delegates will be joining the conference.
All right.
That's the position.
It's interesting. From what we have seen so far, that has happened in the southeast, where we have APGA has some form of strength. We have some members in the House of Reps in APGA from the southeast. We have a state belonging to, which is controlled by APGA in the southeast also. From your own point of view, Chief Umeh has actually pointed out that at the time that Congress held in 2013, that you were not a member of that party. What can you say about this?
I was a member.
How? He said you were a member of CPP.
Yes. Let me inform you. We were in APGA together 2002 when I first entered APGA. He was Vice Chairman Southeast and I was Deputy Chairman South. In December of that same year, some members decided to move against leadership. And at the convention, first convention of APGA, January 2003, where I was Chairman Convention Planning Committee, he was adopted as a treasurer to replace the treasurer who had some issues with the party. So the President Secretary was elected from being chairman Zamfara. You can imagine the secretary has become a permanent secretary. From that 2003 till today is 11 years, and he's still hanging around. But that's by the way. So it happened later in the year, some action took place. And Umeh leapfrogged from treasurer to acting chairman, a total illegality. He'll tell me about Supreme Court now. He will not remember illegality again. But that is a different story. The fact of the matter is that I left APGA in the confusion, and in January, late 2011, 2013, no, 2012, yes, the governor of Anambra State, Victor Umeh, invited me to come back to see whether I could help reposition the party, and that's why I came back.
Oh, it's interesting. Just before I come back to our Lagos studio now, tell us about your relationship with Mr. Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, who you said invited you.
Yes, Peter Obi remains one of my leaders. I give him commendation for his good performance in office. No matter what you may think about him, he exhibited fiscal responsibility. He also brought governance to the doors, to the common. He made it. Would I call it? He demystified governorship by his low profile, and I commend his needs, attacking all sectors simultaneously. That I give him.
All right. Tell us, Mr. Oku. Tell us, Mr. Oku. Tell us, Mr. Oku. There was a national party leader that was appointed in the person of Mr. Peter Obi to replace the late Ojukwu. What is your view about that? A lot of people said it is
Peter
not in the constitution
Obi is not the leader of the party
to have that.
He cannot be, because at two fora where I was present, one caucus, the other at a mass rally, it was clearly declared and signed, and he signed too, that our late leader, Dim Chukwemeko, remains our supreme leader. And he opted for deputy leader. I therefore don't go along with him when he tries to do a stunt or a U-turn. I don't go with him. The leader of the party as of now is still Dim Chukwemeko Odumegwu, personified through his wife, Iyom Bianca Odumegwu. That's our position.
All right, interesting. Let me now come back to you. With what we are having on ground, just a moment, let me ask you. You're said to be planning to have Chief Austin Ndigwe as your successor.
No such thing. I never said such a thing.
But are you? Is that?
I am not planning to make anybody my successor. Nobody.
Are you planning to run for senator in your senatorial district?
Well, I have explained it. My people want me to run, particularly people of my senatorial zone.
I mean, when you say your people now, was there?
There are so many letters and communiques already issued, urging me to come and run. And like I said, 10 months' time, I will leave this job for another person to do. At 52 years of age, I still have useful time to serve my people. So if that's their wish, I will consider running. Presently, we're not having good representation at that level. But let it be by the way.
Right,
let me take you back. Let me take you back.
Let me ask you this question again, before you go back to what you're planning to talk about. But again, when we look at it, that there was a time that your party is setting up a process where newly elected officials will come to the fray. What has happened to that?
No, there's no such plan.
Were you planning an election for a new executive?
No, we're not planning a new election. The next election will take place towards the end of the year. The people that will take over from us, both to the national at the national level, we'll do state congress, then national convention, and put new leaders for the party. Do you agree, that Mr. Peter Obi is the party's national leader? Of course, we made him our national leader and chairman board of trustees. He's shying away from answering a pointed question we put to him. He said Obi brought him to help run the party. That Obi, he refused to answer you whether Obi is with him, because I read in the Vanguard of yesterday and in several newspapers in the past 1 week, where Obi was emphatic that the chairman of the party is Victor Umeh, not Mike Zioku. But don't you think that's something wrong here? Chief Umeh, hold on. Yeah. There was a time that you had a fallout with Mr. Peter Obi. Wasn't that an issue that brought Mr. The Court of Appeal settled the matter. The Court of Appeal settled the matter in its final judgment of 15 July 2013 that nullified all the processes. This judgment has flushed his claim and everything he has done away. Obi, of course, was aware that with this being the case, he can no longer support him. That's why Obi is with me, and he says it openly. We made him leader of the party on 18th of January this year and chairman of board of trustees. He went and announced that our late leader's wife is now the leader of APGA, Mazioku. So use this to check his character. Somebody brought you and told you it is done. Don't continue. He ran to opponents of the party and is running around. All right,
let's go for a short break. And when we return, we still have some more issues to talk about this particular leadership tussle within APGA. Don't go away. We'll be right back.